get it. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's lights, cameras, action. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime. You can get this work. It's showtime. No more lip service. It's time to make it happen. Gun club, goody people. I'm here to tell Captain. Poppy got it slapping like a wild beast savage.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This 216 DJ Poppy, and we got the legendary Cujo Goody in the building.
Yo, what's happening? You already know what time it is, man. Cujo Goody, Zone 1 and Check Game, man. We have a very special guest in the house.
Yes.
Julia Beverly. I'm talking about photographer, historian, author, media guru, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I can clap for myself.
Yeah,
of course.
But you are the legend. I mean, you just got honored by the city of Atlanta, so.
Yeah, appreciate the city of Atlanta for giving Goody Mob a resolution. Is that what it is?
A
proclamation.
Yeah.
Well, it said resolution on the thing, but appreciate y'all for acknowledging that. But we got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
let me go and answer the first question. So, as a fan, I'm a huge fan of your work. You know, I know what you've been doing. I come from the era where we read credits, who's taking these pictures, and my background years ago was photography. I used to develop in a black room and all that stuff, solutions. So I appreciate a lot of stuff you do. And what's funny, Joe, is I seen her at the concert at the One Music Fest.
Oh yeah,
I was from a distance. I was like, and she just shooting. I was like, holy shit, man, that's Julia Beverly.
See?
Oh, wow.
See?
And then I still didn't think I was going to meet her, but me and Gip came out, and she came over there, and I had to introduce myself to her, and I wanted her on here, so I shot my shot.
I appreciate the love. I consider myself a photographer, but a lot of people know me from Ozone Magazine. Was my early, publication. 2000 era Southern rap was really starting to take off, and
we gonna get into that. Hold on, we gonna get into that because that was not that fast. Please. But what I wanted to know, because like I said earlier, I thought you were from California. Where are you originally from?
I would say Florida, but I moved around a lot. So when I was a kid, we moved to New York and California and ended up in Florida. So that's where I went to school. And that's kind of where I got exposed to. Actually, Outkast was like my first exposure to hip hop music when I was in high school. So
really?
Oh, wow.
That was my that's what set me on the path to where I ended up for a career, because I used to be on to the
93, 94.
Actually it was more like 96.
96.
Oh, wow.
The ATLians album. But before that I was kind of more into like Nirvana, Alanis Morissette, like still great music.
No.
Yeah.
Hip hop was really taking off and presented a career path eventually. So
True that.
So that's always been like a full circle moment to be able to see, Outkast together at Centennial Park, and the Ozone office was over there by Stankonia. So, I wasn't up on Goody Mob just yet. But once I got familiar with the whole background of Dungeon Family, and actually came up to the dungeon, or the second dungeon, and met Rico like on one of my first trips, the big White House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was one of my really early trips with Ozone. So we came up and did the T.I. Dope Boys video.
That's
Thrill the
hard
Player was coming
that
up.
you say that. I mean, being that you was residing in Florida, you know what I'm saying? But Outkast was kind of like the type of the music, the hip-hop that kind of you got into. Because you got Luke down there, you know what I'm saying? You got Poison Clan down there. You got all type of bass down there. But it was just, I guess it was just something about the organized North. Well, it's the Atlanta sound.
Yeah.
Period. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? Because they was rocking bass here down in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Mostly Miami music, but you really didn't get a sound attached to Atlanta, in my opinion, like until organized noise kind of really started shining. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've told this story before, but the reason why I heard that Outkast album was that I was in art class and our teacher would let us play music. So the guy next to me brought in that album insert, which was drawn by D.L. Warfield, so it was like a comic book.
Yeah.
So he brought that in because he wanted to redraw it.
Yeah.
So we popped the CD in, and I didn't have a frame of reference for I didn't know anything about like Dungeon Family. And I didn't even really, I think, know that it was like hip hop music. But that album had all this, so many sound effects and like water splashing, and, like the sirens and stuff like that. So it was very, it was like a very audio. The audio was super sharp, and I'm like, this is kind of dope. Like, what is this? And so that was an entry point for a little, young white kid to be like, oh, this is dope, So I don't know if I would have, you can look back on your life and be like, I don't know if I would have taken this path if this had not happened. So so it's cool to be able to, have my work displayed with D.L. Warfield and
shout out to D.L. Warfield.
I had a display with him during the 50 years of hip hop anniversary that they had, and to be able to see Outkast perform and stuff like that, and feel like you've reached the conclusion of that part of your life or something.
Oh man,
like that. Not the conclusion. That's the wrong word. But
no, that's dope.
Kind of giving you a full circle kind of look at how things come back around. So
yeah,
awesome.
So in Florida, what part of Florida are you from?
Orlando.
Okay. You being from Orlando, DJ Magic Mike is like his bass music at that time. Was that something you heard like in the streets, everybody playing that heavy bass? Like,
for me, it was more, I was exposed to a lot more like reggaeton and Caribbean music. Orlando is like very heavily Hispanic, and you have a lot of Caribbean influence. You go down to Miami and you got, Cuba, Cubans and Haitians, and so like that's more the kind of music I was hearing. And I mean, definitely Uncle Luke too, and Magic Mike was doing his thing.
Exposed to some good stuff, man. I never would have thought Orlando was that type had that type of music.
Man, Florida period though. Florida.
Yeah,
like
I mean
that.
prior, before Bad Bunny, it was all, Daddy Yankee and like that whole era that was huge in Florida. So
didn't know Bad Bunny was from Florida.
Well,
no,
before the Bad Bunny era, of course he's huge right now. I feel like he's kind of reaping the benefits of like all those years of reggaeton leading up to that big like Super Bowl look. It's kind of cool to see that.
Okay.
Man, that'd have been dope. He'd have brought Nori out.
I remember Nori coming to perform in Orlando like real early on. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story about that. Because I have this roll of pictures I've been going through, and I'm doing a photo book, like a coffee table type book. But Capone and Noriega was probably the first or second like rap concert that I actually shot, and I didn't really know who they were, didn't know their music, and so I went to this club, and there was all these people like backstage. That was an interesting club. They had all kinds of stuff going on there. But these two guys come in like matching red sweatshirts, and they got all these girls with them, and there's all these people with them, and I took like a whole roll of pictures because I'm like, this gotta be right? And then later I realized that was not them, it was just some random guys at the club. So and back then it cost a lot of money to get film and get it developed, so I'm sure back then I was like, oh man, I wasted a whole roll on these guys in matching shirts. And then Capone and Noriega came and performed later, so. But I've learned better now.
Of course.
Know who Nori is.
Nah, that's dope though. Cause I thought you might have like when you was looking in this hip hop book here, I thought you might have was turned on to some like the older hip hop. But that's dope that Outkast you came in on that. That album cover would catch your attention though. Like if you're an artist, like you like art. Like, whoa, that was like the first album cover when I seen them.
Book type.
Yeah, when I seen the lady on the tape on the CD.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So that's dope though. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, but you already kind of told me what was your first hip hop music that you was turned on to. That was the first thing I was gonna ask after that. So
see, I anticipated your questions already.
Yeah, is she cheating over here, Joe?
No, she just done this plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? So she professional at it.
Yeah. So I got, I don't even need this. Let me just ask stuff I really want to ask. So since you jumped off, talking about the Ozone, so what made you start that? I know bits and pieces. I mean, I know people have asked you, but I just wanted to ask you. I know, if I'm not mistaken, you did some stuff with the source at the beginning. Is that correct? Before you?
Not really. Well, okay, to put it in to just give the backstory. Like I was 19, I think.
Yeah.
So I was just really young, and I didn't know much about anything.
Yeah.
And the idea had come to me before, or people had told me like, oh, you should start a business. And I remember being kind of afraid, like, well, I don't have money. Like, what if it, what if I get this thing started and I fail? Like, so I never had that initiative to start a business. But there was a designer in Orlando, Mert Design, who did like all the party flyers, because back then you didn't have social media, so you had to put the flyers out at the clubs and on the car. So he was like the go-to guy that would print up the flyers. Yeah. So he started this magazine called Orlando Source. And that wasn't my idea. I mean, and somebody called me, DJ Jesse Jazz was working with him, and he said, hey, Mert needs a photographer. Like, you should meet with him, because I was starting to go around to the clubs with my camera. I had a corporate job before that, hated it. I had just got fired because I was just not doing what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah. And so at that point, I was like, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to, just do my own thing. So I was going out to all the clubs and taking pictures. So I go to meet with Mert, and he said, well, I can get you a pass to this concert. You just give me some photos. $100 or whatever. Yeah. So I started doing some freelance work for them, but even he had put out like the first issue, and he took the Source logo and just put Orlando.
Oh wow!
And even though I was young, but I was like, dude, I don't think you can do that. So at least change the logo. So he changed it. He made a different. His designer CJ, comes up with this Orlando Source logo. So the first issue. He told me, well, I'll pay you, well, I'm probably skipping through a few things, but I went and shot something for him. And I remember something before I had shot, I put all the pictures in a little book, and I showed it to like a friend of mine. And she kind of like flipped through and just put it down. And I was like, oh, it's not interesting. So when I presented this to him, I was like, I should make it like a real magazine layout and do a little spread and design it. So I designed this page or a couple pages of a spread and sent it over to him. So he was like, oh, I didn't know that you can design too. So he said, well, I'll pay you by the hour to do the second issue. Wow. So, and Mert was, shout out to Mert, he's a good guy, but he was a little bit of, he was frugal with his money.
Oh yeah,
like,
he got you. I was in my head like, oh, he got her to my hourly.
Well, yeah, so when I did the layout for the second issue, he sat behind me and did not move the entire, it took like 24 hours, like overnight. And so then he, reluctantly like paid me. Yeah. I guess he didn't think it was going to take that long. Yeah. And so then for the third issue, he was like, well, I'll just make you a partner. Like, come on and be a partner. So after that, I don't think I ever saw another penny from Orlando Source, but I got it was like an unpaid internship.
Yeah.
So, long story short, we fell out over a couple things, but I was going to do the last issue. And Mercedes, who was our street team rep, was like, well, why would you stop? Like, just change the name. Yeah. Because they had already, I think, sent him a cease and desist. Yeah. Source Magazine was telling him, like, hey, that Orlando Source thing is not going to fly.
No. Come on now.
Cut out.
So I would go to our advertisers and say, well, I know you've been paying this much per month. And they were like, oh, no, we've been paying this much per month. So he was basically taking a little off the top and not telling me. And so, for me, it was a very, like, broke time period. But during that time, I met, all the DJs, met all the artists. I was learning how to do layout. So it was something where I wanted to get a job as a photographer. Like, I would read the Source and be like, how do they hire, how do they find these people? So that's how I kind of started. It was just showing my photography, and then somebody pissed me off, and I wrote an editorial just going off on this guy, and people, I got so much response to it. I was like, oh, people actually read this.
Read this.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
So I changed the name to Ozone, and we did the first. The first few, I'd say the first like maybe 10 or 12 issues, it was all Florida. Yeah. And by that point, like I had interviewed, Magic Mike, Pro Style and Nasty were the big DJs in Orlando at the time. And Greg G had done a magazine called Big Life. So by that point, I'm like, I have interviewed everybody in Orlando. Like, what else? Yeah, what else is there? What else can we do? So we did I think the 10th issue maybe was the Florida Power issue. So you used to see the the Source would do like the power issue. So I was like, okay, we'll do the Florida power issue. So we highlighted all the, you know, Khaled was on the cover with Dogman, a promoter, and went around to all the radio stations. So I met all the personalities, all the PDs, all the artists.
Oh shit!
Building relationships.
Once you start building those relationships, and then we would start putting out books in different cities or magazines in different cities, and I would be surprised at the response from like Tampa or you know, later on. Like we'd start, you know, I'll send a box to Birmingham, and we would get all these calls from people in Birmingham that were like, how do I get involved in this thing? So, I mean, Atlanta was always interesting because, of course, it's like the hub for everything in the South. But you know, they have 2-3 radio stations. They have so many opportunities. They've got Birthday Bash. You know, the artists are not underexposed. Like there's ways for them to get out there. But you know, so I started to meet like, you know, Plies is from like Fort Myers. Like they don't have a lot of outlets. They have like one radio station. They don't have, you know, magazines. And
I mean, Atlanta has come a long way. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point it was no exposure. I mean, closest thing you probably can get to maybe was like a Creative Loafing or a really paper magazine. You know what I'm saying? Not glossy and all that type of stuff. But I guess stuff started just really jumping off with and I hate to be keep being a drum, but when organized noise just started just putting in that work, bro. I mean, just to really get for somebody to start looking this way. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get a place like Florida, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you really didn't. All I knew was Luke. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I came up on was Luke. But once you started doing the magazines and just putting people in the magazine that's from Florida, you know what I'm saying? Not only just Orlando, you got Myers, you got all type of, you got Miami, I mean, you got Orlando, all that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So Ozone, so that was just a name that you came up with, or is it was any significance behind the name Ozone?
Would call Orlando Ozone.
Really?
As like, so the radio station would be like, oh, it's a nice day in O-Town, and we were like, that's kind of corny. So Ozone was like the kind of, you know, hip hop version of that. But I agree with you. I mean, Dungeon Family definitely, you know, broke the door open, especially that Andre 3000, you know, the South got something to say. Like I know I've talked to a lot of artists who were like,
man, they still running with that, boy, as if it was yesterday. Like, I mean, which is a good thing.
But it gave people the motivation to be like, okay, we don't have to do it the New York way. Like we can develop our own. You know, I know a lot of artists I interviewed, Pimp C and Pitbull. Like I remember them talking about that being like a pivotal, you know, or just that whole energy of being like, okay, I'm gonna do it my way, and you know, do it for the South. So, but I think even the time period that we're talking about, like once I started Ozone 2002, so like by 2003, 2004, we were getting those big responses from other cities. But you know, you had Goody Mob had definitely been featured in you know the Double XLs and the Source, and even though it always felt like the South was getting like kind of sidelined a little bit, like they were, you know, you guys were big enough that you were getting those big spreads, and so a lot of artists in the South were like, well, how do I get you know, to that level? I
mean, they had a major record label down here, which was LaFace. You feel what I'm saying? Well, so LaFace, I guess they had they can get to these people, can get to these people, and interview these guys for me, or your guys can go do this and do that. But I like Ozone because it's a grassroots type thing. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this: like it was a lot of South artists that, you know what I'm saying, you did a lot of work with. Was that just in a particular reason? I mean, was it access, or, you know, what kind of piqued your interest in like Southern music?
Well, I mean, it was definitely easier to access because I was there, but also it just seemed like an untapped market. So when I first started, like being in Orlando, we covered a lot more. Like it was like everything happening in Orlando. So if there was like a rock festival in Orlando, like we might have covered that a little bit. Reggae. We did a lot with like Inner Circle and those guys like early on, and then as it kind of grew, it was clear this Southern rap was like taking off, and so you know, proximity to that, and also feeling like they needed it, like needed an outlet. Because I think in order for any business to be successful, like there needs to be a need for it, or it needs to be filling some sort of need. So,
Right. Yeah.
I would go to shows. Like I remember being at some concerts where unsigned artists are performing and there's like everybody screaming along with every word.
Right.
And I would be looking around like,
Who is this
why
guy?
isn't the source here? Like, why isn't because they didn't really have people on the ground like that. So,
okay.
there was a point where I felt like I was filling, or Ozone was like filling a need for these, these artists wanted to have a platform.
Of course.
And then there was the New York. New York has their little. It's gotten better, I feel like, but New York definitely had an attitude towards people from the South, like you're kind of an outsider and you're not part of our little club. And so I experienced that at various points as a photographer, as a journalist. So
that's crazy.
So when I would interview, Pitbull or somebody like that, would be like talk about that, that Andre 3000 moment, or I mean, I remember one interview with Pitbull. I don't think he was speaking specifically on Andre, but just kind of that attitude where he was like, I tried for so long to like be, to be what I thought they wanted. And finally it was like,
Pitbull,
you don't want me? I'm going to go do it my own way. And
huge, bro.
I mean, he's even pivoted like quite a bit.
It's crazy.
Since those early days.
Yeah.
That's my guy, man. I remember like when I started hearing him like with Lil Jon.
Yeah.
But I seen him in the Ozone Magazine. So the magazine used to be at our record stores. And I remember the first time I seen it, I'm like, Ozone. Let me just grab it because ain't nobody up my way got it. And so I'm just looking at it and just reading, like learning about other people out there. Like so we used to go to Orlando a lot. Was it Kissimmee? We used to be out there a lot. And I should just find like the little clubs and stuff my uncle used to take me around to. And we just like learning stuff. I think that's how I got turned on DJ Magic Mike, like 95, 96. I had a bass tape. But that magazine though, it made it, like I said, it made it Cleveland, Ohio. And so we were like finding out who else was who in Florida. And I think you had this one with Rick Ross. And we didn't hear the Rick Ross, the early stuff. We caught on to maybe a couple stuff he did with Trick Daddy before Hustlin' came out. And like I said, in that magazine, we was like, oh, that's the guy right there. It was like, if you was in her magazine, what we thought in Cleveland, like, they up. Let me go. And I just tell the dude, hey, order me this, whatever this dude make. I just wanted to be up on it because I felt like she knew what was happening out there.
Of course.
So, yeah.
I mean, it was the era before social media. So if you heard Hustlin', you might not have a visual for like, what does Rick Ross look like?
Because we never seen him yet.
That's a big
when
component
we first heard
of like
it.
who the artist is.
Yeah,
when you see Goody Mob come out and you got the minks and you match and like that's a big component of whether you buy into this artist rather than just like listening to their records. So I think with early like Pitbull, Rick Ross, we did a lot with them early on, and so I moved to Miami like a couple years into it, or I would still go back and forth. But Miami was cool because everybody was kind of coming together. So if you went to the Pitbull video shoot, Ross would pull up and Khaled would be there and maybe Fat Joe, or like everyone was coming together, and so
they figured it
for
out.
content. And Atlanta was the same way.
Figured it out. Like, man, we got to stick together because I mean, no disrespect to New York, but it was almost like a gatekeeping thing. You know what I mean?
That's what we talked about earlier.
It's like a gatekeeping thing. I mean. That's definitely where hip hop was born. But once it started branching out, you feel what I'm saying? And I guess people was like, "Well, damn, is that hip hop?" Like, yeah, it is. It's just from some different regions and different people that see it totally different way. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of sparked that thing with Dre. You know what I'm saying? Because we used to love go to New York, even though they used to sit there with their hands folded up, watching us. But I understood, you know what I'm saying? You probably didn't understand what we was talking about. It's like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? But it's great. So was photography your thing? Was that like how did you get? Was that a hobby at first, or just?
I mean, I've always loved taking pictures. Like even when I was a kid, I was taking a million pictures on my disposable camera. So I always loved the photography aspect of it. I mean, even now, like you said, you saw me at one music fest with, running around with a couple cameras. So that's always what I enjoyed doing. And it was funny because like the bigger Ozone got, it kind of took me away from what I actually enjoyed doing. Because once you're like a media, people are like, oh, you're a media mogul. Everybody wants you to be in a panel and come speak at this thing and speak at that thing. And and I was like, I don't really like doing that. Like I like going to shows and shooting organically, and then also like discovering music, because I feel like once you're in the spotlight, it changes everything, because then you're at the show, everybody's trying to give you their mixtape, and everybody's in your ear telling you this and that. And I kind of used to be like, I miss when I could just be just a random person. Not a random person, but you could kind of just slide in the club and just watch what's going on and see, oh, they really like this artist.
That's badly right there.
So once you get, if I'm the most famous person at the venue, I don't need to be there, because it's just headaches. You know what I mean? I want to see who's next. I want to actually be able to observe, and if you go to a city and you see how the crowd reacts to this artist, like you can understand, like, oh, this is the guy. He's the man in this town. Like I need to feature him. So
were you doing all the writing, like
in Ozone?
I wouldn't say all, but once we moved up here to Atlanta, after we did the first Ozone Awards in Orlando, and so that's when things, I felt like we really were, on a national level. Like we did the Ozone Awards was crazy weekend, but we did pull it off.
I gotta come back to
UGK
that.
reunited. We had Lil Wayne there. We had Ludacris, Young Jock, T-Pain, Plies, Pitbull. I mean, everybody you could think of came. And I remember Lil Jon texting me, like, because he was probably the only one that wasn't there, but he was like, oh, I heard the thing was huge. Yeah. So it kind of put us on the next, on the next level. So moved to Atlanta at that point, and once we were established here in Atlanta, I brought on a couple other journalists. So we probably had maybe 7 or 8 staff members, like at our largest. But I mean, I think that I don't like to like toot my own horn too much.
Nah, go ahead. You gotta get your
flowers. Hip-hop phrase, but
it's the truth. That's what it is.
Well, I would say that I'm not. I don't think I'm the best photographer or the best designer or the best writer, but I think I'm pretty unique that I could do all those things like reasonably well.
Of course.
But once it got to a certain point, it was like, okay, this photographer is better than me. Like I'm gonna hire him, and this writer is better than me. I'm gonna hire him. So I became more of like a
pretty much
quarterbacking the whole issue.
That's a good way to put the quarterback.
But the photography was always like what I enjoyed doing, and with the writing, I mean, I used to read Source, XXL, and I would feel like they were editing the artist too much. So like if you interview like Webby or something, like don't like correct everything he says to dictionary English, because that's not how they talk in Baton Rouge. True that. Yeah. Or Goody Mob, you don't want to correct your slang.
I didn't say that, man. Hold up, man. Why you put that in there? But
I mean, I would read it and be like, he doesn't really talk like that.
Yeah, right.
So with the writing, I tried to not put a whole lot of like the writer's opinion, because you read a lot of magazines.
You can tell.
Like, you can tell when the writer is interjecting like how they feel. So we would just do a lot of Q&As. Cujo, how do you feel about this? Let you say. But that would also get us, get us in trouble, because the artist would be, throwing shots at people and then trying to back away. Oh, I didn't say that. No, you did. I got you right here.
That was crazy, man. That was some wild time, especially with magazines. I remember when they was doing the mics and everything.
Yeah, the 5 mics.
3 mics and 4 mics. Like, hold on, man. I mean, come on.
Well, we had blunts in Ozone.
Right.
But I don't think Ozone's ratings were ever taken like as seriously as the Source. Like people were serious about those.
I don't know, man. People like. I mean, Source was serious. I mean, it was really serious. I had a writer told me about something. But with Outkast, like, man, people really wanted to find him and hurt him, bro.
Oh, wow.
Because he gave him like
5 mics.
Really wanted to hurt this man. Like, man, what you giving him 5 mics for? Like,
shit, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, the whole concept of rating music is kind of, to me, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because it's subjective.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
Somebody who really loves like Nas, they might not hear a Goody Mob and be like, that's not quite my.
You're right.
It's quality, but like it's not for me.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So
you're right.
Hey, but as a Nas fan,
but Goody Mob, Goody Mob and Nas,
I ask him all the time. I said, man, why y'all ain't did nothing together? Because they talk about a lot of the same stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna still try to make that happen, man. I swear to God.
man.
Yeah, that's
my
example,
goal.
but-
No, that's fine. I'm just a real
But
hip hop
if you,
DJ fan.
yeah, if you
that's
came
all.
up listening to like on the subway
I get
listening
it.
to
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York
yeah, I
rap,
get
and then
it.
you hear like Uncle Luke, you might be
I
like,
get it.
ah.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally
No,
get it.
I know.
So for you to assign a number to it is like,
Yeah.
how do you fairly do that?
I get it.
I think so. I'm almost okay with people doing that, but I just feel like, man, when they write that stuff, man, show your face. Let us know like what your background is, like to see if you get any type of credibility with that. It is very subjective, though. You know,
Yeah.
like one of the things, I think they just do it for clickbait. Complex. All those, you like, man, what the hell? Who the hell put this
Yeah.
person there?
Yeah.
Sometimes
It could
people
be
just
me
do that
saying.
for-
That's
people
what I
just do that for
said.
engagement.
That's what I said.
Man, that
That's
gets
what I
some
said.
engagement
Like,
off of that, like, hold on.
I stopped getting my feelings like the last 2
When they do
years,
the,
man.
the list of the top
Oh
artists.
man, that'd be fire.
Well, what you just said reminded me. I just interviewed Reggie Dennis, who's the music editor at The Source in the early '90s. But he used to talk shit in
Yeah.
the magazine and put his face.
Oh, he was
like
bold.
you're gonna
Like,
see
this
what
me.
I look like.
Oh, he was
So-
bold in the 90s.
So he had a whole confrontation with Ice-T.
Oh man.
Ice-T was mad about something he wrote, and he went to his book signing and said, "Hey, sign it to me. This is my name. This is me."
Hey,
So-
coolness.
Original gangster.
Yeah, right.
That's with T.
But yeah,
Right.
I've had a few. I've had artists upset with me about stuff.
Yeah.
So in the Ozone, was that you rating with the blunts?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I've hardly ever did music reviews because I don't think I'm qualified,
Okay.
and I don't want people.
You don't want to smoke.
But I don't think I'm a music expert though. Like what I can do well is I can watch how people react to you because that's what makes a star. Is like
Right,
you
right.
get on stage and people
Right.
react to you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can spot that,
Yeah.
but the music itself is.
You're right.
Like there's been music I've heard where like I just listened to a track and was like, oh, that's dope, and then the person never, if they didn't have the hustle or they didn't have the look or
Yeah.
there's like so much
yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
I will say like a Pitbull, I knew he was a star. T-Pain,
Pitbull wanted it though, man. Like
that
hearing.
T-Pain, I'm Sprung. Like I got
Oh,
that.
yeah, I remember
I got that
that.
CD and was like, oh, this is gonna take off.
great.
I
Like,
remember when I
his
first heard it
early-
though. I was just like, I remember my dude Mario. We was at work. He like, man, you hear that shit? That talking about he sprung stuff. He needs to stay at the strip club. I remember my boy Mario say that, and I'm listening. I'm like, hey man, this
Well, I
might be
remember
one of them
Pitbull-
ones right here, man.
Yeah.
He like, man, you always listen to weird music. I'm like, nah, bro, listen to it. I'm like, you hear the bass line, you hear what he talking about?
Right,
I'm like,
right.
it's people that's really like that.
Man, telling the story.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, music is subjective.
Yeah, it
you know
definitely
what I'm saying?
is.
One person might like this,
Mm-hmm.
and another person might not like it. Because I've learned to accept, you know what I'm saying, people's respect people's opinion,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to music. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know what? I feel you know what I'm saying. It's not an argument. It's just really that person's perspective of what he's hearing. Just like somebody from New York, like when they used to boo us or whatever, I kind of took it some type of way then,
Yeah.
but now it's like, you know what I'm saying, that was just their perspective of they were not used to hearing that.
Yeah.
You know what
They
I'm
were
saying?
booing you in New York.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. But it, you know what I'm saying, we came
And here
back.
you are performing. You're still performing.
We
20 years
came
later,
back
so
on
you
the
got last
Apollo,
laugh.
you know what I'm saying, with the whole Dungeon family. So they kind of
remember
they
that too.
kind of got it. But check game, they was booing Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang's from Staten Island, and these people, other people in this part of New York, didn't think that they were New York. I'm like, come on, how you gonna
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So they're gonna boo anybody.
Yeah,
They're just
so
as
you know
mad.
what I'm saying? But like I say, it's like your cousin that stay in a whole nother state. Every
Yeah.
time you come to your cousin's house, he always trying you. You know what I'm saying? But it's love though.
Yeah.
He's your cousin, he's always trying you until you come that one day
Yeah.
and y'all get it in. And then it's like you get the best of your cousin, like, you know what, you got me. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, now people are, you know what I'm saying, people loving music from people in New York loving music from other regions now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're widening their horizon. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like first, people put on like some rock. I'm like, man, I can't. But now I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that type of music. I appreciate the writers. I appreciate them composing the music and everything. Man,
Yeah.
it's a whole experience, man. So yeah, you just got to get to that level. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to circle back. We're still on the Ozone. So when y'all was putting up shows together, like, why did it stop? Like, I was hurt. Like, man, why they stop, man? I thought it was a good thing. Like,
well, we stopped. We didn't do. So we did 06, 07, 08, and then 2009. There was no sponsorship money. Like the recession. And these labels were not. We were very dependent on sponsorship money. When you see these big shows, like these are very expensive to produce.
Wow.
So we were, the first couple years, like we would have all the record labels would come in and pay packages to sponsor different events. And the money just was not there that year. But I think also, I mean, for me, I was just burned out. Like, because I was doing.
That's back to back. I mean, really, like
that. I mean, that in itself, to produce a show on that level is a full-time job. And then I was doing a monthly magazine, and we had started doing like the All-Star Weekend magazine, the Super Bowl Weekend magazine.
It was
Memorial Day. We were doing 6 or 8 issues in addition to 11 we would do every year.
Wow.
On top of the show. Like I don't remember a lot from those years because I was not sleeping. I was from a quality of life standpoint, like it was not good.
Wow. Yeah.
So I had to personally be like, I don't know if I want this to be my whole life.
Yeah.
We had a great run. You know what I mean?
True that.
So I've been able to pivot off of that and like all those relationships I built, to still be able to, have those connections where I can go see these great shows and I can travel, but I also can, take a month and go hike in, Argentina or like whatever I want to. Like I'm not locked into that. Because when you're on a monthly production schedule, like you are locked in.
Oh
like,
man, I was gonna ask you like when Julia's not taking pictures and you know what I'm saying, doing write-ups or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, like what do you do to kind of just let loose and just reset, you know what I mean?
I mean, when I stopped publishing the magazine, I just realized how much it had been restricting my schedule. Like now all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can travel. So I've done I hiked the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu and Tour de Mont Blanc through Italy and Switzerland and France, and I biked across the U.S.
Right. I ain't even ever heard of countries before.
I rode a bicycle from Seattle to Key West one summer.
Key West, Florida?
Across the country.
Oh my God!
I rode across Spain. I rode top to bottom of the UK.
Damn.
So I like just different adventures and. I like those. The cycling trips are interesting because you can plan out. Like I go through every mile on the map, and like you can plan it out, but you don't really know. Like there's always some unexpected. Oh, here's the hurricane coming or something. Like there's always some unexpected twist. So
man, so you got an electric bike?
No,
but unless you bite with
if I did that again, I think I would be good.
It was just straight pedal back in the day.
I'm like,
now this was a good. This was 2016, so I was a tad younger. I don't know if I could. No, I could do it today, but I'll be hurting a little bit more.
Interesting, man. That's great, man.
Yeah,
I read like a definition of an adventure is like you don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to. I used to tour with some artists too, so if I'm on a tour with Goody Mob or going to some, I used to tour with Flow Rider. I went on a couple trips with Rick Ross, so like Flow Rider is huge in like fitness, Malaysia and like places you would never think.
Yeah.
Wow.
So to be able to go like to Malaysia and get a police escort to the hotel and like get to experience that whole thing, whether you're doing that or whether you're biking across the country, like you don't know what's gonna happen. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
And I'm a booking agent too, so that's how I.
Oh really?
Yeah, I book a lot of shows from a lot of the artists that I met like early in my career. People would call me, how do I get Lil Wayne to come here? And after a while, I was like, oh, I should set up a business. So
I did not know that.
So I was biking across the country booking Lil Wayne shows, and you might
What's
end
the
up
name of the company?
Agency 12.
Agency 12. Okay. That's
So
awesome.
So I've always kind of kept one foot in the game, but it's not as time consuming as media. And it's hard now because everything, like, we're so inundated with just content everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna be in the media space, how do you monetize that? So I don't know the answer to that. I think a lot of companies are trying to figure that out.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So I just enjoy traveling, living life, and then maybe sometimes I do a podcast here.
Yeah.
I go, shoot some content at One Music Fest and things like that. So.
And I appreciate you pulling up on us too.
I think everybody's so consumed now with like you have to monetize everything.
Yeah.
'Cause people see me like, oh, well, what are you doing now? I'm like, oh, I'm just traveling. Oh, well, how are you monetizing that? I'm like, I'm just living. Like,
really? That's the last thing you're thinking about, really monetizing that.
Yeah, I mean, because it takes a little bit of the joy out of it, I think, when you're doing something because you want,
Right.
it versus doing it because you love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Whereas, if you post something on TikTok and it doesn't get as many views as you want, it's like,
man, I'd be laughing when people turn off their little counter so you can see they likes and stuff. I'd be laughing so hard.
They do what?
They be turning off the counter when you can see they likes.
Oh, okay.
Somebody hit me up like, I ain't gonna say who they was, but they was around us. They was like, hey, they came and visit us. They like, hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you turn off? I said no, no. I'm like, no, bruh.
Well, because Instagram throttles your views now. Like they show, if you post a flyer for something happening in Atlanta, of course, somebody in California is not gonna like your post. So if they show it to 10 sample people and those 10 sample people don't react, then nobody else sees it.
Yeah.
So when you post some kind of promotional thing and you get no views, it's like,
it's a down.
They don't want their sponsor to think that they didn't deliver the views. Everything is so monetized. I like the old Instagram.
Yeah. And I was late to that
fun.
party, but I caught it on the tail end. I mean, it was people posted me on Facebook. Will you please tell him to get on Instagram? I think I had to be one of the last decent DJs to get on there. I was just like, man, fuck it, man. I'm real life, man. People know where I'm at.
Right.
They like, no. I'm like, but when I got on there, I could just post something, man. That thing would get almost 1,000 views, man. I'll be struggling to get about 20 or 30 now. I don't even care though. But anyway,
it's crazy how they had you locked in. Like you might have like a million followers, and then you post something only 1,000 see. Like, come on, how's that work, Sway? What we doing? But they want you to do ads, and they want you to put a little money in there, and you can do this and do that. So they figured out a way to monetize, you know what I'm saying, our lifestyle. And they figured it out, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's pros and cons. Roll with it or you don't.
Yeah. Another question though about the shows. I had this like my mind, I just like to just think something crazy. For some reason, I thought you was gonna come out with the Ozone and during the Hip Hop 50th. I'm like, man, that'd be crazy if she just come out and throw some of them throwback shows for the Hip Hop 50 a year. Man, I was hoping so bad.
If I told you how many people have told me you should bring back the Ozone Awards.
Just one, one time. Oh my gosh,
Why had
man.
to just do it one time?
That'd be, oh my God,
But
man.
I know it's
I should say too, I did the Ozone Awards with TJ's DJs. Shout out to TJ.
Yeah, TJ.
So it was a collaborative effort, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
on my part, on
Wow.
my team's part, his team's part, and so we've floated the idea like everybody asked us, and I'm like, man, do you really want to go through this?
It's a lot of work. So
Man,
it's a lot of
one time for the culture though, man.
you just gotta
and people
have
don't know how to act too. Like, that's the discouraging part, because you've seen this with the Source Awards, with Vibe Awards. Like the first year we had it was so, I don't want to say it was flawless, because it was a lot of logistical things that happened, but nobody got shot, nobody got killed. You know, it was like all the artists came together, and it didn't really get that much media traction. Like people that were there was like, yo, that was crazy, but it wasn't like this huge, media.
Nothing negative happened. That's
and
why.
Then, exactly. And then, Trey punched Mike Jones, and that's all everybody wants to talk about. Like, and then some random person got stabbed at the hotel that really didn't have anything to do with us, but it gets tied. Right. So you don't get that look until like the negativity. Right. And the same thing happened with Source Awards and Vibe Awards. Once a stampede happens or this person gets stabbed or whatever, then all of a sudden it's that becomes the whole event. So I also felt like if we continue doing it year after year, eventually you know, something. I don't want to be responsible for like some negativity,
But check this out. So we all grew together with this hip hop, the Ozone. Those your audience is our age now,
Right.
like.
It might got a little more sense now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, heck yeah. Like
Yeah,
it'd be like a
but do they though? They don't have the energy.
right. A day concert.
Right. Yeah.
Be over by
I
7.
mean, we floated the idea because we were talking about like so. Okay, they say hip hop started in 1973, but is there a date when Southern hip hop? Like, do we have our own 50th year anniversary?
You know what?
We tossed the idea around.
You would have to.
Damn, that's
You would probably
interesting.
have to start with, in my opinion, you would probably have to start with Ghetto Boys.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
The date of their
they was in
first
the
album,
80s.
You would probably have to start
Like
with
they
them.
came out a little bit right
Had to
after
be, what,
NWA
89?
when it was the light skinned guy was in. I got the
To my
record.
Red, DJ Red,
Yeah,
that was in
'cause
Ghetto Boys.
he was on the cover with them.
That's where, I mean,
Maybe it was 91.
Somebody else
Early-
might say
early
something up, man.
I'm
We
just saying that probably would be my starting date with that. You know what I
91.
mean?
Nah, I gotta
No,
be like
no.
80,
I
88,
mean, we talked about
89.
but here's
We
the other
did.
question,
That's a
right?
good
Like,
one.
like back then, all the
Yeah.
artists would come for the love. Like,
Yeah.
And it would be the same thing in the studio where if, you know, this artist is doing a record, this artist
Right.
would come drop a verse. You know,
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, I charge $250. Here's my invoice. So when we
Yeah.
tossed this idea around, it was like, are all these artists going to come back
I
and
feel
show
you.
that same, all these artists that we helped
right,
catapult
right.
to positions
Right,
where
right,
they're
right.
making $500,000 a show.
Man.
And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that all of them wouldn't,
Right. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know not all of them would.
Man,
Some of them probably would, but not. We're not going to get all those people.
Yeah.
And So,
Yeah,
so
listen.
from like an economic standpoint, it's like,
Yeah.
could we even make this happen?
True that.
You know?
True that.
I would say, man, mess with the people gonna mess with it. Cause I think that once you get a nice amount of people coming, they gonna call, man, you going to that? Yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, yeah. You know what? I ain't gonna do. I might pull up, man. You know, they might have a change of heart once somebody else
You know,
do
if
it.
somebody just came to me with a you know, huge check, like let's do
Right.
this thing, I
Okay,
could probably
right.
be convinced.
Okay, I got you.
But
Then.
for me,
I got you. No, I
for
got
me,
you.
this
Then.
is like what you're saying, like people calling you
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
for tickets. Like that was my phone
Oh,
for like
yeah,
4
yeah,
months.
yeah.
It's just like nonstop. Like
Wow.
it was a lot. So for me personally, it was just
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know if I can put myself through
Nah,
that again.
yeah.
But maybe it's just
I told
some
TJ
type of-
I'd rather stab myself in the neck with a pencil than put myself through that again.
Sheesh.
maybe
But
it just would be
but
for
also
the,
I think you can't recreate moments like
no,
like
you,
it was perfect in that time and in
Yeah.
that place it accomplished.
yeah,
You know, but if you try too hard to like force it and
Yeah.
bring, like, is it gonna be?
I would
is it
just
gonna be
say,
the
I
same?
would just say, maybe not a documentary, but just really going through that timeline, because I don't think we had a timeline like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know New York has, because they can go all the way back.
Damn, that's a good one.
72,
That's real good. I
73,
didn't think
you
of
know what I'm
that.
saying? I'm talking about they can bring up all the people, Kaz, Scott LaRock. I mean, I'm talking about they can bring them, Shy Rock, they can bring them all through, you know what I'm saying? I would kind of, just for, you know what I'm saying, just for historical purposes. That would
Oh,
be
I'm working
something.
on.
That
Yeah,
would be
I
dope.
wish I
That would
could
be
like
dope.
plug what I'm working on, but
No,
I have
yeah.
I have a few projects that are always like
Okay. You
halfway
like to, you
done,
can.
Okay.
But no, I don't know
Okay, yeah.
when.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely working on something to
Right.
recap that time period because I have
Yeah.
so much material, and I started to realize like I don't think I knew that I was like a historian, but as time went
You was
on,
just
I'm
working.
looking at because I
Yeah.
keep everything, so
Yeah.
I'm looking back through like, wow, I kept all this stuff, and people,
Yeah.
other people be like, I would have thrown all that away.
Yeah, nah.
You know, I've got every room key and boarding pass and wristband. And,
Yeah.
You
know,
can have your
I'm-
own museum.
Yeah.
You can have your own museum. So that being said, is there is there any way that you can even think of a favorite type of I wouldn't say like a favorite photo shoot or just a favorite time to where it's just something that's just memorable that you just really enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? I know that's
Yeah, I was gonna mention it earlier, and then I think we changed topics. But I remember, it must have been 2003, 2004 ish. But Pitbull had done like a Welcome to Miami freestyle, so it was over like the Welcome to Atlanta beat. But I remember like coming back from South Beach like late at night, 3, 4 in the morning, and this record came on.
Wow.
And I was like, who is this? So I started asking around, and we were actually in the same, we had shared an office space with Big Teach, who was his manager. I think this came, my timeline is probably off, but we were in an office space with Big Teach, who was Pitbull's manager at the time, and they had like a studio in that building, all the kind of icons and drum majors, like all the hip hop folks in Miami were like in this one building. And so I was supposed to interview Dirtbag, who was, I think he was signed to Jive, and I think I had like gone through all kinds of, long drive and come down to do this shoot, and he didn't show up. And so I'm telling Teach about this, and he was like, "Oh, Pit'll be here in 10 minutes. Like, do you want to substitute?"
Okay.
So like people like Pitbull and Rick Ross, like I knew they were going to be successful because they were always, it was like, "Oh, an opportunity, I'm there."
Yeah.
So he came with like 10, 15 minutes notice. We did this interview.
Wow.
Because when you're doing layouts for a magazine, like if you're, you can't just take a page out. You got to put something there. So we were already, late. It was on press already. The printer's like, where is this page?
Right.
So Pitbull came and did this interview, and we did this whole photo shoot, like the sun was going down with the skyline in the background.
Man.
And that picture's in part of the Smithsonian collection now with the Museum of African American History.
Wow.
I was a part of this collection that Bill Adler put together that's at the Smithsonian. So, those like kind of organic, really like grassroots moments to be recognized like in a historic museum. I always think that's cool. And,
of course.
And I remember Pitt talking about, like we talked about earlier, like his, sense that like New York is not really checking for me, but, and Pimp C interviewing him in prison, like he talked about.
Yeah, that's what I was about to swing to before we get out of here. I gotta talk about.
I know that had to be man.
I mean, I remember him talking about Dungeon Family and that moment. He said, I decided to call my music country rap tunes.
Yeah.
Like when Andre said, that was a moment that was like, I need to cut ties with, I'm not gonna try to be what they call hip hop. Like I'm gonna create my own thing.
He stayed in Atlanta for a while. So he definitely came to be, man, family, you know what I'm saying, pulled up at the dungeon, man, he was just really, that UGK was just something special. I remember my brother coming home from, he went to Statesboro, Georgia Southern. He came home with a big poster of Bun and Pimp. He put it on the wall. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Like, who is that? This guy had glasses on, like schoolboy glasses on.
Pimp,
Then you had Bun B just, just chilling, man, just like a real big king. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those guys was definitely something special. You know what I mean?
I mean, I thought it was interesting once I published Pimp C's book that came later.
What year was that?
After Ozone. That came out in 2015.
2015, okay.
And I wrote that with his mom was like a huge part of putting that together.
Wow.
And when I first pitched her the idea, she was like, immediately was like, oh, Pimp told me so much about you. Like, let's do this.
Okay.
So she was right on board with it. But I thought it was interesting, like, researching for that book, like how, he was doing the same thing like Dungeon Family was doing in terms of like pulling soul samples into the music. And how you both, it was kind of like, brilliant minds like coming to the same, kind of like along the same track. And then I interviewed Gip for the book, and he was just talking about how crazy it was. Like Pimp's mom was like his road manager.
Oh yeah.
So she'd be pulling up to the clubs, the promoter would be trying to short them, and she'd be like, "No, I need." He said, "I just thought, Gip was like, she was so gangster."
Yeah, Mama Pimp, man.
Yeah, she told me this story about how the promoter tried to short them on their travel money or something, and she's surrounded by she's this little short grandma, surrounded by all these big security dudes, and she said he threw the money at her, and she said, you better pick that shit up and put it in my hand, or we're not doing the show.
Wow.
So
dang,
she had some great stories. Mama West, R.I.P.
How did you and Pimp get so close?
Well, I met him in prison. Asylum was putting out his record Rap-A-Lot Asylum was putting out his record. So they had actually arranged or, kind of softened Texas Department of Corrections up on this idea, like, hey, you're gonna get some requests from some journalists.
Hey, bro, that's a big phone call, there, man. Soften that up in Texas, man.
That was an interesting experience, and I brought my video camera in there.
Oh man.
And I was like, I don't know
You
if
still
they
got all this?
Yeah, I said, well, they didn't tell me I could bring a video camera, but they didn't tell me I couldn't.
Right.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So I went to meet him, and I had already sent him some magazines, and he was kind of like, when I first sat down, he was like, "Whose magazine is this?" And I didn't know if he was mad. I'm like, I don't think we said anything about him, and I said, "It's mine." And he was like, "For real?" Like, little white girl. He didn't say that, but
he was just trying to make sure, like, man, establishment magazine, like who is this? It's mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think once he
roll.
understood, like, we were, on the same mission, like, to try to get respect for the South. When I left that day, he was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "No problem." So he was like, "I'm trying to get a message to See Murder," and inmates can't really write to each other. So I was like, "No problem, I'll send him a message." So I relayed whatever it was he wanted to tell him, and then he had heard that Crime Mob, Nuck If You Buck. He was like, "Who is that girl?" Everybody liked Diamond's verse on there.
Yeah.
So he said, "Tell her I want to, work with her." So that's kind of how it started. We just, he would send me, correspondence from time to time, and if he asked me for a favor, and we would print his letters and include his envelope with his return address. So he said he started to get, other artists would be reading it, like,
Damn, I missed out.
So artists aren't always the most organized, but if they're flipping through and say, "Oh, my man is in prison, let me drop him a line," so we were starting to get feedback from people that were reading the magazine. So.
Damn.
Was Pimp like the only book that you did? What?
So I worked with Jay Prince on his memoir. I didn't write it, but he had kind of done a draft with another writer, and he asked me to kind of quarterback the release of it.
Is that? Okay.
Yeah, that came out in 2018.
I gotta check that one out.
Didn't he drop the alcohol with it too? What is
Loyalty
it?
Wines?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not. Yeah,
was
not
around
really
the same-
related, but
yeah,
around the
yeah.
same time. Yeah.
So I know he
The
was
Art
doing a
and Science
tour
of
about it.
Respect. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jay Prince. So we put together a promo tour for the book, and then also the wine, and it kind of nicely coincided with the Drake and Pusha T situations. Everybody wanted to talk to him about his relationship with Drake.
Yeah.
So we turned that into a big promo tour, and did a lot of press around that. And I have another book. Well, actually, 2 other books that are halfway done.
So do you
finish,
like
so.
writing books like that? I mean,
I liked writing Pimp's book because I had that personal friendship with him, and then also, I mean, just what he meant to the game. Because I actually learned a lot. I mean, to interview, or to go through like old interviews with like Birdman or T.I. Like they're talking about how influential he was.
Yeah.
So it was like that whole era of music that I was involved with. They were all inspired by him early on. So
yeah.
I would say writing is hard. It's like it's difficult. It's like it doesn't come easily as like photography, but
Right, yeah.
But if I am passionate about the subject matter, then I enjoy
get it
the,
done,
the
I think
the
about
art
that
of it.
too. Like,
I think Dungeon Family would be a dope.
I think so
Goody
too.
Mob
Oh
book.
man, crazy. Sometimes it's like, man, well, hell, where do I start? Or like,
It's a lot of them.
It's the business, but like I said, it's just really just actually prioritize your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the place right there. Like you're thinking about this and thinking about that, thinking about that. Well, which one do I prioritize? This right here. But I think it can be done. A DF
It's just
book.
like putting an album together. Like
Right.
how do you want to? There's an art form to it. Like how do you want to present this, and what order should it be in?
Yeah.
So it's it's a blank canvas. Like you can
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
But I think that's interesting that you can do that. You can switch and just really go this way with it, man. That's awesome.
So did you have any? Well, I got 2 questions, but let me go back to the Pimp real quick. But the next one is See Murder though. But with the Pimp, so did that make you want to like let me listen to UGK's music? Did you go back and listen to any other stuff, or it was just more?
Yeah,
just
I mean, I
relationship?
wasn't super familiar with their music when I went to interview him, and I called, like, you asked me, or one of you asked me earlier, like, did I write the music reviews? I would turn that over to somebody who really, like, had that kind of expertise, because I know I'm not the person to review. So even with interviewing Pimp, like, I called DJ Wally Sparks, had been I don't know if he still was, but he was our music editor for a while. Matt Sanzala was a Texas journalist, so I was calling them, like, give me some backstory, like, what, you guys were around in the 90s, smart. Like, what should I ask him? And it's funny because they had me really kind of, I don't want to say scared, but, they described him as, like, this, he's kind of crazy, he's like this loose cannon, and so I went to interview him, and he's when he's not being Pimp C, like, he's very calm and reserved and quiet, and I was like, this is the same guy, because I'm not really seeing the crazy part. So, but yeah, I would always defer to other people, and I mean, even now, I'm not an expert on, hip hop. Like, I've been learning and, like, filling in the blanks of all the decades that I missed. But I was hanging out with Scarface once, and he was playing something on his, this was the iPod era, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna make you listen to all these. You need to know where all these samples came from. I mean, he was right. Like, I learned, oh, I didn't know that song was a sample. And,
I like that.
It's
I like
educate.
that.
You still educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? With people thinking of you that you're this big whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You go through the steps that, well, let me research this. Let me at least get familiar with it, because you definitely around some people that a lot of people look up to and just really pattern their whole style off. You know what I'm saying? Reason why some people wanted to do what they're doing. Yeah. But I just think that's what a real journalists do. You know what I'm saying? They definitely go to other sources. It's not just me. You know what I'm saying? It's So.
I had my last quick question. I don't know if it's gonna be quick, but C Murder. So when you was going back and forth with them, I'm a C Murder fan too.
Yeah, me too.
Like, damn, that's my guy too. I hate he had left during that album when that album was coming out, man. C Murder. But anyway, like, did you get to go like interview with C Murder as well too? And like,
I actually shot him in New Orleans. He was out for like a short time period, and I went out to. He showed me around like his hood, and we took a bunch of pictures. And
did I see that? What is it?
I don't have.
Is it out like a?
We definitely published something. I think I interviewed him, so we published.
Did you in like Calio Projects and all that? Mm-hmm. So I seen something, but I never knew who he was talking to. I just thought he was just talking to the camera. Did you go into like some apartments? It looked real fucked up.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if we filmed it, but I definitely interviewed him and shot him. I mean, I didn't have the same relationship with him. Right. Like, we didn't really. We're not like friends or anything. Yeah. So I'm not really in, no disrespect to him, but just I'm not in contact with him like the same way that I was in contact with Pimp. But, Pimp would just say, hey, I want to get this. And I don't want to be messy because I don't even remember. But I think that there were rumors that like they had, that maybe there was some kind of issue, and he just wanted to be like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I don't have no issue.
Yeah, I know the story about that part,
Something to that effect, and it was just like, hey, I want to get a message to him, and I don't know how to do that. So
that's one of the reasons why I was asking. Like, was it like some, hey man, let's be cool, like type deal with that?
I mean, we're talking. Yeah, we're going back 20 years now, so I really have very vague recollections, but I think it was just something to the effect of like, hey, I don't know what you heard, I just want to let you know I don't have them, because there had been like Master P and Pimp that had issues, and that's his brother. So I think it was like, I just want to let you know I don't have no problem with you.
So I know they was tight. I just thought maybe when Pimp said that for you to reach out to him, I thought maybe now you didn't build a relationship with C Murder. That's all I was asking.
He would just write in, a few times to the magazine. We had this section called Prison Diaries, so we would have notable people that were locked up. They would just send us a page, and we would just print it exactly how they, with their handwriting and everything. So C Murder was in there a couple times, Pimp C. I think there was a few other people that were contributors at different times. So
Right.
just trying to give them that platform.
Man, I cannot get this off my mind now that y'all came up with something really dope, like the 50 years. It's not even 50 yet, but the hip hop thing for the South.
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
that is genius,
It
man.
might be it
Like,
might be a
we're-
Jay Prince moment. Like Jay Prince might be. You could argue Jay Prince or Uncle Luke maybe was
Ooh.
you know, they were
Hell
the
yeah.
two early
Damn.
record labels
That's
in the
tough.
South. So
That's tough.
Let them two start it off, man.
That's
That
dope.
would be dope. Like, I
but
swear, I never
pinpointing
thought-
like what is the date?
yeah,
You know,
Yeah. Of course,
That would
I'm
be the
pretty
hard
sure
part,
they
like-
would. I'm pretty sure they would know.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They definitely would have some roundabout ballpark figure.
the 50th anniversary of Southern hip hop, country rap.
I don't think it was 50 years yet for that though. I mean,
Well, I mean, we got what 15 more years to plan it.
man, we gotta go and get that. Hey, we gotta get that.
Are we gonna make it?
I was about to say, gotta get that ball rolling
Yeah,
now.
rolling down, well, yeah.
Get some
The
videos,
35th
everything.
anniversary of Southern hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be
man.
that'll have New York like, oh man, okay, let me check this out. You know what I'm
was so
saying?
genius.
Well,
of
I
y'all
will
to
say I
think of
went to
that.
the 50th year anniversary of hip hop at the Vice President's house in D.C. and that was a moment. Lil
Hold
Wayne
on.
performed, Common performed,
Really?
Kamala was there dancing with her husband.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people really grabbed hold to that 50-year anniversary.
Yeah,
If you didn't know that was going on, you just don't know what the hell going on. You know what I mean?
man, that was a fun year to me.
I mean, I learned a lot too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? During the 50 years, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Oh man, I didn't know this. So, you know what I'm saying? I was educated too. So, man, I think it'll be something interesting, man, to timeline Southern hip hop.
All
Or
right.
we could say what Andre was 95.
Yeah, that was 95.
Somewhere in
though.
95. So we could say that could be the country rap tunes moment.
Yeah.
The South got something to say.
That's a chapter though.
30
We still got to
30
go back.
years of the
Like,
South got something to say.
you got to go back at least 5 to 6 though, because you
You're
had
right,
you
that's
had
not
Ghetto
the
Boys
start
and
of it.
yeah, that's an important chapter though.
Yeah.
But we can't forget what Jay Prince and maybe Luke put out.
Yeah.
Man, you about to have me go home googling all night. You got to call Jay Prince or
'Cause I'm not
you
sure.
got the connection.
I'm not sure
I would like
about-
to know this
about-
now.
I'm not sure about like Tennessee, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
I was
When
say
you think about Memphis, I think about
Ball and G, yeah.
So like, who would they say? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like Southern, you know what I'm saying, Southern country rap tunes.
oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who's y'all favorite? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ask Jay Prince, like who's, you know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting, but yeah.
Cause Jay Prince and
I'll have to
Luke,
ask
man.
her.
Please ask.
Like I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Yo, Jay Prince, look.
Man,
got a
please
great
make
idea.
that call, man. Let's get this ball rolling. Like I'm just a fan of it, and I never thought about
No,
that
it'd be
because
educational,
you're just
bro.
so used to the New York thing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
and it did birth a lot of things.
Yeah, he did.
But the South has its own though. Jay Prince had rap a lot. You know, Luke.
Yeah.
Man, y'all got me over here like, man, I'm about to DM these guys. Like, hey, man. I need to know. But listen, we don't want to hold you too much longer. But, man, we definitely would love to have you back. Just to...
But when we plan the 50-year anniversary of Southern rap,
Yeah.
we're gonna be really old then.
Let's do 30.
I might
Let's
have
do
gray hair by then.
35, man. Let's do
alright.
30, 35.
Look at rock and roll, man. They don't give a damn. They can be hair going out, you know what I'm saying, teeth missing, gray hair.
Man,
and
we
they
gotta
still
do
get up
35.
there.
What year is
35.
it? What year is this for? See, we don't even know what year the beginning of the hip hop for Southern. Please ask Luke and please ask Jay Prince. Get those two on the phone, man. Julia, let the people know where they can find you at.
They can't find me. No.
Oh, look at that incognito.
No, all my social media is Julia Beverly. But like we talked about, I'm kind of
Yeah.
I'm tired of just posting stuff
Yeah.
I be
for
the same way
content. Like,
sometimes.
I just
too.
post stuff that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And if people like it, that's cool. If it gets 10 likes, I might turn off the like counter, but it's cool.
Yeah. Hey,
You know, but JuliaBeverly is my Instagram and Threads and all that stuff. We don't do Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you can find me in the streets.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
And I
At the
actually,
Goody Mob shows.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I should have hit I forgot to hit take it out my cart, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy the Pimp C book because I definitely want you to autograph it for me.
Oh,
I should have
really?
brought you one, but I forgot.
I seen damn.
Yo, yeah, Sweet Jones, Pimp C's True Life Story.
I seen him on eBay.
eBay, Amazon,
Yeah.
J Prince, Art and Science of Respect. That's on Amazon as well.
I'm
So
gonna grab those too.
Yeah.
pick those up for sure.
All right.
Leave me a good review.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out though. I'm like I said, I'm a fan of your work.
Thank you.
All right, Joe. Let them know where they can find you at.
Man, look, man, I'm at KHUJOGOOD on social media, man. Subscribe to my YouTube page, man. Cujo Goody Zone 1. I'm on TikTok, Cujo Goody ATL. And oh yeah, check me out on Say Less Radio, man, at FleetRadioNetwork.com. All I play is Dungeon family music, new and old. You know what I'm saying? We about to crank up the independent artist side of it. And I got DJ mixes on there, man. So holla at your kinfolk, man. And oh yeah, I'm down with Maverick Global Distribution too. So if you're independent artists, want to know about the industry, how to be entrepreneurs in it, and not just putting music out, man, holla at your kinfolk.
Yeah, and you can find me at 216djpapi.com. Go to that first, please. And then all social media handles 216djpapi. And we out. Peace.
Come like 3 stacks said. The South got come to say, come on, showtime. It's showtime. It's lights, cameras,